Good evening, dear students. Yes, yeah, Hanumanta, Ruchita, Sinchana, Murali. Yeah, good evening, everyone. So, ಹಿಂದಿನ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಲೈಟ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಸಿಟಿ ಅವುಗಳ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಹೌದಾ? So, in today's class, we will start with a new lesson, new chapter, control and coordination. Okay, it is from biology. Control and coordination. Right. So, in Kannada, ನಿಯಂತ್ರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವ ಅಂತ. Okay. For example, see, you all are in SSLC now. So, in your school, they will, what they will do, once you go to the school, they will make a council. School council will be present, right? So in that school class monitors, school what we can say, school representative, ಹೌದಾ? ಆಮೇಲೆ ಜನರಲ್ ಸೆಕ್ರೆಟರಿ ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವೇ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜನ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ. ಲೇಡೀಸ್ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೇಟಿವ್ ಅಂತ ಆಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ವೈ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್? No doubt, teachers will be there, principal will be there, peons will be there. But on the hand of, like on the side of students, a assembly will be formed. So pertaining to cultural secretary, sports secretary, like this, the secretaries will be allotted. Why? Because to manage any event, ಈಗ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ರು ಒಂದ್ ತರ ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಎಲ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು? ಕೋಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. So they have to discuss at what time the ground should be ready, the sports material should be ready. Okay, so for that certain people are needed. So what they will do, they will coordinate with the students. They will coordinate. Coordinate means they will discuss. Okay, they will decide the things. Okay, so that is why they will decide with the teachers, with the principal, with the students, and then they will do or they will perform one work. Right. So I think today you don't have a Kannada medium session. Okay. So this is English medium session. So like that only, when you consider any organism, either it might be a plant or an animal. In animal only, we will consider human beings. Right. See, now what I am doing, I am teaching you. So I should have some information in my brain. So that has to be processed and I should tell you what you are doing. You are listening my words. So you are grasping my words. Your ears are active. Those words are going into a brain and you are understanding the concept. So like this, your nervous system, muscles, our sensory organs are coordinating with one another. Without coordination, for example, see, you are listening my classmates. If one ear says, I will not listen today, I want rest, what will happen? So certain part will not work. So that is why coordination, discussion, sharing of the work is needed. And some control is needed. For example, if you are hungry, you want to eat the food. So mom will prepare your favorite food and she will make you to eat. Okay. So how much you eat, how much you want, that much you eat. Mom will put another 1 spoon. Okay, you will eat because of her love. Okay, again she will put. At some level, you are not able to eat a single, what you can say, a single piece or nothing. Okay, that time what happens? You are controlling. So certain things will be controlled in us. Okay, for certain times when you are running, no, our heartbeat will increase. Okay, that will be controlled by the muscles. Like this, how control and coordination will take place. Just a minute. Okay. will take place in our body or in any living organism. So that is called control and coordination. So in this chapter, we will mainly concentrate on nervous system in human beings. Okay. Then we will concentrate on the hormones which play a important role. Hormones are nothing but the chemical substances, or we can say chemical messengers which are present in our body. Okay. Then we are also going to learn. Yes, Kannada medium students, you don't have Kannada medium session today as ma'am is not well. So you don't have a Kannada medium session today. Okay. So hormones. After that, nervous system, hormones. Then after that, we are going to learn plant coordination. For example, you have seen touch me not plant. ಮುಟ್ಟಿದರೆ ಮುನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? So when you just touch the leaves will fold. So how this control, how this coordination takes place, and you can see whenever you are planting a tree, so just go and visit your fields. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗದ್ದೆ ಹೊಲಗಳಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ನೋಡಿ ಅಥವಾ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸುತ್ತಮುತ್ತ ನೋಡಿ, ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಗಿಡಗಳು ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ವಾಲಿರತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದೇ ಕಡೆ ವಾಲಿರತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಇಟ್, ಅವು ಯೂಶುವಲಿ ಬೆಳಕು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಬೀಳತ್ತೋ ಆ ಕಡೆ ವಾಲಿರತ್ತೆ. So this is also a coordination or a control which has been taking place in the plants. So that we are going to learn in this chapter in detail. Okay, fine. So are you all ready with to start with this concept? Yes, let us begin. Okay. See, first we learned what in biology we learned about the life process. Alva. So we learned about life process. It involved maintenance functions in living organisms. For example, digestive system will maintain digestion. Excretory system will maintain excretion. Howda? Circulatory system will maintain circulation. Right. So like this, it involves the maintenance and functions. Now, if we see something moving, it is alive. So you are sitting here and you observe something is moving in front of you. What you feel? That thing is alive. Adu jeevantavagide anta ansutte. So some of these movements are in fact the result of growth as in plants. So for example, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದೆ ಸೂರ್ಯನ ಬೆಳಕು ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆ ಕಡೆನೇ ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಆ ತರ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಾವು ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, a seed germinates. A seed. Okay, so when you sow the seed, it germinates and grow into a plant. Okay, so here we can see that seeding moves over the course of a few days. It pushes soil aside and comes out. But if its growth were to be stopped, these movements would not happen. So how the seed will germinate? Seed will give rise to the plumule and radicle, means the stem part and the root part. So the root part will grow towards the soil. The stem part will grow away from the soil. So how these movement and growth are controlled in the plants, that we are going to discuss in this lesson in detail. So here you can see, see the roots are growing, the stem is growing above the ground. This is a seed germination. So how this movement is occurring, how this movement or a function is going to maintained. Okay, so this is called as what? Control and coordination. Next, some movements as in animals and some plants are not connected with growth. For example, see, so you cannot consider every movement as a growth. For example, a growth of a plant towards the sunlight, what I said, it is nothing but a movement towards growth. So ಆ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಅದು ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ we will not consider every movement. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರು ಅದು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಗ್ರೋತ್ಗೆ ಪರ್ಟೇನ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಹಿಯರ್, ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ a cat is running ಅಂತ. ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಓಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಟ್ ಓಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗತ್ತಾ? ನೋ. ಸೊ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಅ ಸ್ವಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಜೋಕಾಲಿ ಆಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಬಫೆಲೋಸ್ ಚೀವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಕಟ್. these are not movements caused by the growth. So we will not consider all the movements which are caused by the growth. ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಚಲನೆ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅದು ಗ್ರೋತ್ ಅಥವಾ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗೆ ಕಾರಣ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ನೋ ಹಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೆಲವೊಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಚಲನೆಗಳು ಮಾತ್ರ they are related to growth, we can say. See, chewing the cud, running, swinging, right? Next, movements as a response to a change in the environment of the organism. The cat may be running because it has seen a mouse. Not only that, we also think of movements as an attempt by living organism to use changes in their environment to their advantage. Okay, so see here, movement as a response. For example, a cat sees a mouse. ಹೌದಾ? ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅ ಲಿಸಾರ್ಡ್, ಹಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಹುಳನ ನೋಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಗೋಡೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಹಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಕೀಟವನ್ನ ಅಥವಾ ಹುಳವನ್ನ, ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೂವ್ ಟುವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಪ್ರೇ, ಟು ಕ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಫುಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿಸ್? ದ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಲಿಸಾರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್. ಅದೇನು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ? ಯಾರಿಗೆ? ದ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈಗೆ. ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈ ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ದ ಇನ್ಸೆಕ್ಟ್. Okay, so the response to the environment which is triggered by, which is formed by the stimulus. For example, if you touch a hot pan, ಬಿಸಿ ಬಿಸಿಯಾದ ಒಂದು ಕಪ್ಪನ್ನ ಹಿಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ you will take out your hand. Okay, that is the response. What is the stimuli there? Hot pan. ಹೌದಾ? So like this, the stimuli and responses will be present in the environment. Next, see, certain examples are there. Children try to get pleasure and fun. Children ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಯಾಕೆ ಜೋಕಾಲಿ ಆಡ್ತಾರೆ? They feel happy. Buffaloes will chew the cud. Buffaloes, ಎಮ್ಮೆಗಳು. So why they will chew the cud? So that ಆ ಫುಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಬೆಟರ್ ಆಗಿ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Then when bright light is focused on our eyes, or when we touch a hot object, we detect the change and respond to it. For example, ಈಗ ನೀವು ರೋಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ, ಬ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈಟ್ ನಿಮ್ ಕಣ್ಣ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೊಡಿತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಐಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅ ವೈಲ್. Okay, so that is a response you are doing. And as I said, when you touch a hot object, what you will do? You will take out your hands. That is a response. So the stimuli and response ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ? It is by a control and coordination which is taking place in our body. ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅದರಿಂದ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. Okay, next, see, each kind of a change in the environment evokes an appropriate movement in response. So ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ, where you are sitting, standing, listening, running, whatever you are doing. Okay, so if any change in the environment occurs, whether it is a plant or an animal, so the living organism will respond to it. Okay, then so for this unicellular organism, what we call unicellular means what? The single-celled animals. Okay, unicellular, what we call. So here they don't have specialized tissue. They don't have specialized parts, okay, to coordinate or to respond to the change in the to respond to the change in the environment. But in case of multicellular animals or organisms, what we call, so we have specialized tissues. Okay, these tissues, what they will do? They will provide control and coordination of the activities. Okay, so when you are running, so you will be lack of oxygen. So you will be having lack of oxygen. So that time your muscles cells will work rigorously, will work hardly, right? So that is why this control and coordination is needed. Next, first we will learn regarding animals' nervous system. How control and coordination occurs in animals. Okay, then, so in animals, such control and coordination are provided by nervous and muscular tissue. It is not only the nervous system which control, but hand in hand, muscular tissue will also control the and coordinate the things in our body. For example here, touching hot object is an urgent, dangerous situation for us. So we need to detect and respond to it. So when you touch the hot object, suddenly what you will do, you will take out your hand suddenly with milliseconds. Or does it take half an hour? Whether you will touch the hot object, then after that the heat will pass to your finger, then to your hand, then it will go to your brain, and that brain will detect it is a hot, then it has to send. It will not take hours together. It will take milliseconds or microseconds to pass the signals, and we will take off the hand. So this is how control and coordination work in our body. See, when we consider human nervous system, so human nervous system mainly consists of the brain, okay, and then spinal cord, brain and spinal cord. So here we have two types of nervous system. One is central nervous system, what you are seeing. So this is a central nervous system, the brain and spinal cord, what you are seeing, no? So this is a central nervous system. Peripheral nervous system means what? The sideways, whatever you are seeing, the nerves and all. So this is a peripheral nervous system which will be throughout the body. Brain, spinal cord, central nervous system, and the nerves, whatever you see here, okay, sideways. So these will come under peripheral nervous system. See, first we have stimuli. ಏನು stimuli andre? The factors which bring response or change in the environment. For example, in the environment, if a heat changes, heat occurs, cold ಆದ್ರೆ, light ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬಿದ್ರೆ, light ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬಿದ್ರೆ, touch ಇಂದ. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಇದರಿಂದ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So here, see, this is a stimuli. What is this? The hot object is a stimuli. Taking out your hand is a response. See, here we have the important definitions of receptors. Enidu receptors andre? All information from our environment is detected by a specialized tips of some nerve cell. These receptors are usually located in our sense organs such as inner ear, nose, tongue, and so on. So gustatory receptors will detect taste, while olfactory receptors will detect the smell. See, receptors means what? When you just see this word, receptors, okay, receive means receive. What they will receive? They will receive the stimuli. They will receive the change from the environment. So where these receptors will be present? Usually receptors will be present in our sense organs. Which are our sense organs? Can you tell me? Yes, my dear boys and girls. Which are our sense organs? Yeah. Which are our sense organs? ಪಂಚೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಯಾವುದು ನಮ್ದು? Okay, Mala Angadi answered it. Eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. Okay. So here eyes, what they will do? They will receive the visualization of a stimuli. Tongue means what? It will gives the taste, or it will help us to identify the taste. So the receptors present in a tongue are called as gustatory. Gustatory means the taste. Olfactory, the term olfactory means the smell. So these olfactory receptors are present in the nose. So we have gustatory receptors in tongue, olfactory receptors in nose, and our inner ear. Okay. So the skin, these all will act as our receptors which receive the stimuli. Next. So here you can see, this is a olfactory bulb. These are the olfactory receptors. This is a what we can say nasal cavity. Then next we have neurons. Okay. what are these neurons are? So the neurons are nothing but the structural and functional unit of nervous system. So structural and functional, the brain cell. Okay. So just remember, cells of our brain are called as nerve cells, or we can say neurons. Okay. So these are structural and functional unit of the nervous system. So the structure of neuron is very, very important for us. See here, the neuron, what we said, or a nerve cell, what we said, it is the longest cell in the human being. Remember it, my dear friends. The nerve cell is the longest cell in human being. Okay. So when you see the structure, it has a cell body. This is a cell body, what we can say. And you can say hair-like structure like this. These are called as dendrites. Okay. Centrally, the cell has a nucleus which control the activity of a cell. Then we have the fiber like this, a long thread like this. Okay. So this is called as what? Axon. This is called axon. And axon will be covered by a sheath or by a layer like structure, which is called myelin sheath. It is called as myelin sheath. And at the end of a cell, you can see the endings here. Okay. So these endings are called as what? Nerve endings. So we have the neuron or a nerve cell, okay, which has nucleus, which has a cell body, which has a dendrite, axon, and nerve ending. Very, very important diagram for SSLC also, for PUC also. So this is how the structure of neuron will be there. Then after this, here you can see neuromuscular junction. Neuromuscular junction means what? Neuro means nerve, muscular means muscle. So the junction or the place where nerve and nerve endings meet the muscle. So here you can see the nerve endings. So these are associated with what? The pink color is there, no? So this whole pink color, it is a muscle. Okay. So like this, what happens here? The sensory neurons will be there. Just a minute. Okay. I will tell you. Yes. So neuromuscular junction will be there. So in that, there will be, just remember what is neuromuscular junction. The nerve endings meeting or connecting with the muscle is called as neuromuscular junction. So what will happen? A neuromuscular junction alli ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ? What will happen in that? We will learn it now. See here. This information acquired at the end of dendrite tip of a nerve cell sets off a chemical reaction that creates an electrical impulse. Suppose let us consider you touched the hot object. Okay. So that message has been detected by the dendrite. Okay. The nerve ending, what we have, the neuron ending, the tips. So that signal is detected by the dendrite. And some chemical reactions takes place here in the dendrite. Okay. So, and this that chemical signal will be converted into electrical impulse. See, chemical reactions takes place in dendrite. That chemical reactions converted into electrical impulse, and that electrical impulse passes to cell body, then passes to the axon. See, that creates electrical impulse. This impulse travels from dendrite to cell body, and then it will travel to the axon till the end. End means what? The nerve ending. Okay. Then at the end of the axon, the electrical impulse sets off the release of some chemicals. So what happens at the end of the axon? Okay, so this electrical impulse, here chemical reactions took place. Chemical reactions idu electrical impulse aitu. Electric impulse is passed through the axon. So at the end of a axon, the electrical impulse will form certain chemicals. Okay, then see, sets off or release some chemicals. E chemicals ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ? These chemicals cross the gap or a synapse and start a similar electrical impulse in a dendrite of next neuron. So ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? This is our first neuron, right? So like this, here we will be having our second neuron. So this is a dendrite of second neuron. So that chemicals will be shifted to the dendrite of other neuron. This junction is called as synapse. This junction is called as synapse. Those chemicals again, they are converted into electrical impulse by these dendrites, and that electrical impulse again passes through axon. But at the end again chemicals will be released. Ade chemicals ಮತ್ತೆ next neuron dendrites ಇಂದ receive ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಆ dendrites electrical impulse ಅನ್ನ convert ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. Like this, it will happen to with the millions of neurons, and the information is created, response is created, and you will take out your hand. So like this, information is passed, signal is passed through the neurons. See here. These chemicals cross the gap or a synapse and start a similar electrical impulse in a dendrite of next neuron. Adadmele next neuron, like this. So like this, the nerve impulse or electrical impulse will travel from one neuron to another neuron in our body and generate the information, and we will respond to the stimuli. This is how that beautiful carrying of information occurs in our nervous system. Next, see here, network of nerve cells or neurons. Network means that group of nerve cells or neurons. It is specialized. What is its function? Means conducting information. Conducting means what? Transferring the information. Conducting means transferring the information. From where? From one part of the body to another. See, nervous system got to know it is a hot object. So here, your muscle or a skin will get to know it is a hot object. That muscle will take out your hand. Okay. Then, identify the parts of a neuron. Where information is acquired? Can you tell me? So we have the parts like dendrites. Just a minute. Okay. So we got to know the parts of neuron. Dendrites we have. Okay. Then it is followed with the cell body. Then it is followed with axon. Then we have what? Nerve ending. Right. Now tell me, identify the parts of neuron anta ide. Hauda? Yes, my dear students. Identify the parts of neuron anta ide. ಸೊ ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್. ಈಗ ಬಿಸಿ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು. ಆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನಿನ ಯಾವ ಪಾರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ? ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್? ಎಸ್, ಬಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್. Okay, tell me. Which part will acquire the information? Who is going to answer this question? Yes, my dear students, be fast. Very good. 10 rights. ಯಾರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು? ಕೀರ್ತನ, ಮಮತಾ, ಮುರುಳಿ. Very good. Raju Nayak, Rohini. It is dendrite. Okay. Tanishka, Mahendra, Ravi Uddannavar, Shilpa, Ganesh. Okay, very good. So here, dendrites will acquire the information. Next, through which information travels as an electrical impulse. Electrical impulse ಆಗಿ information ಯಾವ part ಇಂದ travel ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ? So write like this 1, 2 ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂತ. Is it cell body? Conversion ಅಲ್ಲ. Electrical impulse travel ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ? Very good. Mahantesh answered it. It is axon. Axon ಅಲ್ಲಿ electrical impulse ಏನ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ? Travel ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ. Then, where this impulse must be converted into chemical signal for onward transmission, it is nothing but a nerve ending or at the end of axon. Right. Next we have neurons ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? Now we have types of neurons. How many types? ಎಷ್ಟು ವಿಧಗಳಿವೆ neurons ಅಲ್ಲಿ? So here you can see sensory neurons, motor neurons, relay neurons. These are called inter or relay neurons, what we can say. As the name suggests, sensory neurons means what? These are related to sensory organs. Means these are the neurons which takes the information from the sense organs to the nervous system. Next we have what? Motor neurons. Motor means what? Which will move. Okay. Which will move, which will transport. That is motor. Okay. So that is a movement related motor and word. Okay. Na? So motor neurons means what? Which will pass the information from the nervous system to the muscles. Okay. For example, see here suddenly I got some dust in my eye. Okay. So what happened? My sense organ, the sensory neuron will send the information. My motor neuron will send again the information back. So what I will do, I will blink my eye so that the dust will go. Okay. So like that, the motor neurons will work. Then we have relay neurons. So let us see one by one. What are these neurons meant for? Yes. Tell me how many types of neurons we have? Yes, my dear students, how many types of neurons we have? Tell me fast. Very good. Netra. 3 types of neurons we have. Sensory neurons, motor neurons, and relay neurons. So with the help of these neurons, action will take place in our nervous system. That action is called as reflex action. Very, very important concept for exam point of view and very interesting concept too. How actually electric impulse create ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ನಾವು ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಈ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೇಳ. Okay. So see here. Reflex is a word we use very commonly when we talk about some sudden action. So what is reflex? Sudden action. Sudden ಆಗಿ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಈಗ ನಿಮ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹುಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತು ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನೀವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರನ್ ಆಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಸ್ಲೋ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಪೇಸ್ ವಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ರನ್ ಆಫ್. ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಸಡನ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ರೆಫರ್ಸ್ or it means as reflex ಅಂತ. Sudden action in response to something in the environment. So some sudden changes in the environment causes some sudden response in you. So which is called as reflex. So how the reflex will occur in our body, that we will learn. Before that, we will learn about actions now. So we have three types of actions: voluntary actions, involuntary actions, reflex action. Voluntary means what here? Voluntary means which will happen with which are in our control. For example, I don't want to listen to the class now. So what you will do? You will close your eyes. You will close your ears. So this is voluntary action. If you're next, involuntary action. So the voluntary action will be controlled by a forebrain, the part of a brain which is called forebrain. Next we have what? Involuntary action. Next we have involuntary, which is not in our control. For example, blinking of eyes. Okay. Then heartbeat. Okay. So these are all what? Involuntary actions. Voluntary actions means you can see the passing of urine also. At some extent, it is a voluntary action. Next, we have reflex action. So this reflex action, as I said, a sudden action towards the environment. ಈಗ ಎನ್ವಿರಾನ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆ ಸಡನ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ. It is controlled by our spinal cord. Voluntary action forebrain, involuntary action midbrain and hindbrain, reflex action spinal cord. Now, see. Why reflex action is necessary? ಯಾಕೆ ಬೇಕು reflex action? Voluntary action ಇದೆ, involuntary action ಇದೆ. So, in a situation like touching of hot objects, what we can say in an emergency situation. For example, voluntary action ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ the actions or the things which are in our control. ಈಗ ನೀವು ಬಿಸಿ ಪಾತ್ರೆ ಮುಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಆಗಿ ನೀವೇ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ತಗೋತೀರಾ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಗದೆ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೊಸೆಸ್ ಏನು ಫೋರ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಸ್ಲೋ. ಸೊ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್, time taken for action is reduced. Andre within no time, within a milli or microsecond, action will be exhibited, action will be done in reflex action. Okay, voluntarily ashtu bega agodilla. See here, examples. Touching a flame is an urgent and dangerous situation for us, or in fact for any animal. How would we respond to this? ಈಗ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಫ್ಲೇಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಡ್ತೇನೆ. ನಾನೇನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ? ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಟಚ್ ದ ಫ್ಲೇಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಯು ನೋ ಯುವರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಬರ್ನ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ? ಕಣ್ಣಿಗೆ ಪಟ್ಟೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಫ್ಲೇಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಇಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೂ? ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ ಯೋರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, one seemingly simple way is to think consciously about the pain and possibility of getting burnt. Therefore, what you will do? You will remove your hand. Okay. An important question is, how long will it take us to think all this? So it takes a lot of time. Andre voluntary action alli idu tumba time togolutte. But reflex action alli it occurs within no time. Il nodi, if nerve impulses are sent around the way we have not talked about earlier, then thinking is also likely to involve creation of such impulses. When you start thinking, ಈಗ ನಾನೇನೋ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನೇನೋ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ನೀವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್, ನೀವೀಗ ಏನೋ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಏನೋ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಅಭ್ಯಾಸದಾದ್ರೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ಏನೇನೋ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಆ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿದೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅ ಈಸಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೌಂಡ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಅ ಕಾಂಪ್ಲಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಇಂಟರಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆನಿ ನರ್ವ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸಸ್. ತುಂಬಾ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ನರ್ವ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಸೆಸರಿ ಅಂತ. ಸಿಮಿಲರ್ಲಿ, If this part of a brain is to instruct muscles to move, nerves must carry this signal back to different parts of the body. If all of this is to be done when we touch a hot object, it may take enough time for us to get burned. Suppose see, reflex action ilde hodre, voluntary action idre. So idu nerve ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನರ್ವ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಅದು ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸಿ ಕೈಯನ್ನ ಹಿಂದಕ್ಕೆ ತೆಗಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ನಿಮಗ್ ಬಿಸಿ ಹತ್ತೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಹಿಡಿಯತ್ತೆ. ವೇರ್ ಇನ್ voluntary action. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ we have our reflex action which occurs in an emergency condition, which is a sudden action which will be done by our spinal cord. ಇದು ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಮ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ಇರುವಂತ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗಾಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ಮಿ ಅ ಥಮ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಥಮ್ಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಿ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್, we have lot to learn. Yes, Suresh. Spinal cord andre bennu huri anta. Suresh. Okay. He asked the question, where will be spinal cord and what is that? Bennu huri anta. ಬೆನ್ನು ಮೂಳೆ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, ಬೆನ್ನು ಮೂಳೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೋನ್. ಸೊ ಅದರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ರಾಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ಈ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಬ್ಬಿಣದ ರಾಡ್ ಇರತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ರಾಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಇರತ್ತೆ. ಅದ್ರ ಒಳಗಡೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್, ನರಗಳಿರ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಅದು ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಅ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ನರ್ವಸ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ದ spinal cord. Okay, yes, thank you Shivakumar, Nirmala, Kirtana, Mahantesh. Okay, thank you Nandini, Shilpa, Shruti and Spurti, Vikas, Sinchu, Prabhavati. Okay, Samantha. Okay, Uma Shankar, thank you. So let us proceed here. Rather than having to think about the sensation of heat, so ಅಷ್ಟೆಲ್ಲ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಾವು ಕೈ ಹಿಂದ್ಗಡೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋ ಬದಲು, if the nerves that detect heat were to be connected to the nerves that move muscles in a simpler way, the process of detecting the signal or the input and responding to it by an output action might be completed quickly. So reflex action ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಈ nerves ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ, the nerves or whatever we can say the sensory neurons, okay, which will detect the heat. So ಆ sensory neurons ಅಥವಾ nerves, these sensory neurons or nerves are connected to our motor neurons or nerves. Motor neurons or nerves andre which are involved in the movement of muscles. Motor neurons kelsa ಏನಂದ್ರೆ movement of muscles ನಾವು ಟ್ರಿಗರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಪ್ರಚೋದಿಸ್ತವೆ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ ಆ ಎರಡು ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಮಿಲಿ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ, ಸಡನ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್ ಆಸ್ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಆಗೋದು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ? ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ಒಂದು ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಹೀಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ದ ಮಸಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಮೂವ್. ಈ ಎರಡು ರೀತಿಯ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಕನೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಆರ್ಕ್. ಸೊ ಆರ್ಕ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಸಪೋಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಥ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಇದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಸೆಗ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ನಾವು ಆರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆರ್ಕ್. ಸೊ ಈ ರೀತಿ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಆ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ, ಆ ನರ್ವ್ಸ್ ಕನೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ? ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಶೋ ಯು ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಕ್? It will be formed in the spinal cord, although the information input also goes on to the brain. ಆ information brain ಗೂ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Reflex arc will be formed in the spinal cord. Okay, then just a minute, I will show you. See here, receptors. See, receptors ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Which will receive the stimuli ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸ್ಕಿನ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ಆರ್ಗನ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಾ. ಸೊ ಆ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಡಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಹೀಟ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಹೀಟ್ ಅನ್ನ This sensory neuron will carry the information of heat to the spinal cord. Spinal cord andre it is a part of central nervous system, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಆ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಸ್ಪೈನಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಳಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಬ್ರೈನ್ನಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದಟ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಇಂದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗಳಿಗೆ, ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟು ದ ರಿಲೇ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ರಿಲೇ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶಿಫ್ಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಟು ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ರಿಲೇ, ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇ ಆಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಆಡ್ತೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ ಕಡೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರತ್ತ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ನಿಮ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ನವರೇ ಒಬ್ರು ನಿಂತಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಇಟ್, ಅಗೇನ್ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್, ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್, ಅಗೇನ್ ಹಿ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಇಟ್. ಹೌದಾ? ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನ ಪಾಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ರಿಲೇ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಗಳು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ, ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಇಂದ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ ಸೆಂಟ್, ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬಿನ್ formed by the sensory neurons will be sent to the motor neurons through what? Relay neuron. So this motor neuron will be connected to the muscles. It might be leg muscle, hand muscle, any muscles. Okay. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ hand muscle ಅಂತ ಇದೆ. So this motor neuron will send to the message or information or send the chemicals to the muscles. So the muscles are called as effectors ಅಂತ. ಎಫೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾಕೆ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಅದು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ, ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ತೋರಿಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಶೋ ದ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೈ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೇವೆ. ಸೊ ಮೋಟರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ದ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಆರ್ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟಾರ್, ದೆನ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸಡನ್ಲಿ ಟೇಕ್ ಔಟ್ ಅವರ್ hand. So by this you can see there is a formation of an arc. ಈ ರೀತಿ arc formation ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಹೌದಾ? So this is our beautiful reflex arc which is formed in the spinal cord. So the action is called as what? Reflex action. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಹೀಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಹಾಟ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದು. ಸೊ ಹೀಟ್ ಇದೆ, heat will be received by the receptors, right? So those receptors will be sensed by the sensory neuron. Sensory neurons in the relay neuron in the motor neuron ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Motor neuron in the effector neuron or muscles ಗೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. Muscles will respond to the cause. So these will all occur within a second, within a no time. So these are called as what? This is called as reflex action, what we say. Okay, Hema Shivakumar Swami. Okay, she has a doubt with relay neuron. As I said you before, we have three types of neuron. Sensory neuron is there, which takes the information from the sense organs. Here the sense organ is a skin. So this information is taken by a sensory neuron. From sensory neuron, the information has to be passed to the motor neuron. Motor neuron andre enu? The neuron which connects to the effector, the neuron which will bring about the response. ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಇಂದ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಅ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಆಫ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ಪಾಸ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ದ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಟು ದ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ಈ ರಿಲೇ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿರುವ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತವೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ರಿಲೇ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ದ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫರಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಸೆನ್ಸರಿ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್ ಟು ದ ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಯು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್, ಹೇಮಾ ಶಿವಕುಮಾರ್ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಕೀರ್ತನಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕಡೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್? ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ದೆ, ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್, ರಿಸೀವ್. ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಅವರ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ಗನ್ಸ್ ಏನಿವೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತವೆ. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಈಗ ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಸುಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ರಬ್ಬರ್ ಸುಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಅ ಸ್ಮೆಲ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಆಲ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರಿ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್. ಈಗ ನಿನ್ ಕಣ್ಣು ಮುಚ್ಕೊ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಪುಟ್ ಗುಲಾಬ್ ಜಾಮೂನ್ ಇನ್ ಯೋರ್ ಮೌತ್, ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಫೀಲ್ ದ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ವೀಟ್. ಅದು ಗಸ್ಟೇಟರಿ ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್, ರಿಸೀವ್ಸ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜ್, ರಿಸೀವ್ಸ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೈ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ರಿಸೆಪ್ಟಾರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಸೌಮ್ಯ, ಮೋಟಾರ್ ನ್ಯೂರಾನ್. As I said you before, the neuron which will send the response to the effector. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ motor neuron ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. I hope the doubt is clear. So this is about what we can say the reflex action. In the next session, we are going to concentrate about the human brain and the spinal cord. I hope the reflex action concept is cleared for you. Once after the class, please go and read the concept, okay, in the textbook, or you might get it in the Google in the form of PDF also. Textbook PDF ಇದೆ, Google ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ. You can download it. Then go through it, and then again we will meet tomorrow. Okay. So don't miss the class, as it is a very interesting session. Fine. So meet you all tomorrow. Until that, take care. Have a nice day. Don't forget to put the comments. How was the class? Bye-bye.